Bringing that truth, you know how I do. We got my homegirl with me over here. She's sitting in the cut. She right here. Let's put her on my. Y'all see how I put her hood up so she can have her hood going on and shit. All right. So I'm gonna light my shit and just wait on y'all to come on in because I'm gonna wait on this one. I don't know if I'll be pulling any cards this morning. I mean, I will. I don't really want to, but I will if I have to. I don't really want to. So I don't know if this is how it's gonna go. Me and my kids is fresh. That's why I come back yesterday. We had to get our haircuts. You know, I shaved my sides, and I wanted to go live and do a protective style, and then show y'all why I have my side shaved, or do a story time as to why I have my side shaved on my hair. And this is on my real hair, but my sides are shaved. And I have no plex about it because, like I said, you know, it's a bunch of bald-headed hoes out in this motherfucker. So even with my side shaved, I still got enough hair to donate to about 4-5 people. Okay, so Grand Rising, Grand Rising. So I had a dream last night. I was looking at my thing, and I couldn't. When I woke up, it was like probably like 4 or 7 in the morning. I still had crust all in my eyes and shit. I was like half awake. I didn't want to fucking write this down, so I couldn't write it down. So I ended up emailing it to myself, Grand Rising. And I'm gonna probably come back with a story time, and then we'll do my hair together since I done got my sides shaved off now, and I'm not ashamed of my little baby fro that was on the side. It looks good. It's all fresh. Don't mind my pimples and shit. I'm using my dark spot corrector to get rid of those. Self-care, self-love. I mean, we've all had those moments in our lives where shit wasn't just going right. And, you know, of course, I was affected by black magic and all other shit. Have you ever dealt with a lock breakage, and how did you handle it? What do you mean a lock breakage? Like a lock, like a physical lock? Oh, a lock in your hair. Oh yeah, I have dealt with lock breakages, and that's why my sides are shaved, because I was with this guy who was abusive, and he didn't want me to be pretty, so he decided that he was going to rip my locks out by the roots on the side of both my head, and I tried to hold on to them as much as I could. But these are the ones up here. I have to find them. These would be the ones up here closest to it, in which there was a lock breakage, and I ended up having to reconnect the lock, and I was able to save my hair. I gotta find one that was damaged by this guy that did this shit to me. Because I was able, the ones that I weren't able to keep, I ended up shaving off. And then the ones that I was able to keep, I ended up repairing. But if you give me a second, I'll be able to find me a lock that was damaged by him. And like, he ripped half of the shit off. And it'll show you exactly when this took place. This was so long ago. This was so, I'm like, a lock? What you mean a lock? I thought you were talking about something else, but I'm able to reconnect my locks. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. So when he had ripped some out of the side of my head or whatever, I had reconnected them. I have to look at the ends to find it because it has been so many years since he ripped my damn hair out. But I am going to find one. All right, it's been a very, very long time, but I am going to find one that I repaired, and I'll show you how I did it. I don't cut my hair unless it, like the ones that was on the sides or whatever. And I told you I had just done this when I was in Louisiana, because I was steady trying to keep them. And I feel like the weight of the lock of me trying to continue to get the new growth hair and try to stick it in there and all the other stuff, the weight of that lock was like causing my actual hair follicles to become weaker. So I ended up to shave it off or whatever. And now when I shave it off, it does grow back a full little baby fro. It's a full little baby fro on the sides when it grow back. But then my daughter was like, there's no point in you trying to put the locks back in because your hair is already so long. So just keep shaving it. So I'm going to get some tattoos on my head. But I am going to find me a lock, though, that's damaged in my hair, and I will show you how I fixed it. But I interlocked my hair. I don't never, ever, ever, ever take my shit down or take it out. I got to find one. But I believe it happened like when my locks was like this long. So if that's why I was looking at the end. So if I do find one, it's going to be like a knot at the end like this, to where my hair was like this long when he did this to me. And my hair just never grew back or whatever. And then it grew back, it just didn't grow back right. So when I find one, because I am going to do a story time, and we're going to get my hair in a protective style, because I hate wearing my hair down, because it always, it gets caught underneath my arm, it goes into my food, I lay on it, I sit on it, because it does, if you can see, go all the way down to my ass there, so I'll be sitting on this shit as well. But yeah, let's get into it, and then I'm gonna come back with that video while I do my hair, and then we'll talk about how to repair the locks and all the other stuff as well. So I named this, I think I named it Dreamland or Dreamville or something. I don't know the name of this video, but I named it like Dreamland or Dreamville or something like that because y'all, I had a motherfucking dream yesterday. A motherfucking dream last night, and this dream was so fucking real. And I told y'all on several occasions that I be going over to the astral room and shit. And sometimes I have to fight over there. Like when I'm awake, I'm fighting, of course, fighting the spiritual war or whatever. But then when I go to sleep, it's like I'm fighting over there too. I got me a whole joint rolled. I don't know why I wanted to hit this. But it's like I'm fighting over there too, right? So when I go to sleep, it's like it never stops for me. So if y'all see me with bags underneath my eyes, I could have slept 8 hours that day, but had been in the physical realm fighting this spiritual war. And then when I go to sleep, I get over there and I'm fighting as well. All right. So last night's dream was a victory. All right. So I know we winning over on this side. Okay. We're definitely winning. Let me give our energy so I can get into it. Ugh. I don't know why I'm getting weed in my mouth all of a sudden. But today is Thursday, March 3rd. And it is 2022. We are going to open up our soulmate ritual as well. All right. My face may look a little greasy because I had just washed it and I oiled it up. Let me move back. I feel like I'm all up on the camera. Okay. But anyways, today is Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. Planetary signature is Jupiter. Our energetic signature is expansion, money, prosperity, and generosity. Our color associations today are going to be green, turquoise, white, purple, and crimson. Our deities is going to be Shango and Thor. Or either or, however, whatever lineage you want to come from, okay? Sunrise today, according to Central Standard Time, is 6:30 a.m. Sunset is 5:56 p.m. We are in the wine and crescent moon phase. The moon rises at 7:20 a.m. The moon set is at 7:08 p.m. Length of day, 11 hours and 25 minutes. Everyone, please join me in using your time wisely. The color of the day today is going to be white. I promise when I get through getting myself together, I don't feel like I look my cutest right now. Not that I care. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't feel like I do. I feel like I still look like I woke up, but I didn't wash my face and everything. So I don't know why the fuck I still look like drained. But it could be because of the dream. Like I said, I go over to the spirit realm and I still be fighting and shit. So it could be because of that my face looks a little puffy or whatever the fuck is looking like right now. I don't know. So our moon is going into Pisces today. Our moon is in Pisces. And with the moon being in Pisces, you're going to have the greatest sensitivity and perceptiveness of your surroundings today. So you're going to be very, very sensitive of your surroundings. And you're going to be on your P's and Q's. Your spidey senses are going to be going off. You may experience feelings of insecurity, but be passive and just wait to see what happens for you. So like, don't react because you're feeling sensitive to certain situations. Just be passive for right now. Spirit doesn't want you to always be passive, but they're saying just for right now, be passive with the situation because you're going to see what they're doing. You want to be able to observe what Spirit is doing for you, okay? Engage in creative or spiritual searches right now. You're going to benefit from the great imagination of the Pisces. And like I told you, everybody has these zodiac signs in their body and all of that. So you're able to tap into these different energies at will if you're powerful, okay? If not, in your low level, you're pretty much going to be like, I'm a Sagittarius, so whatever's going on in Cancer doesn't apply to me. Whatever goes on in Gemini does not apply to me. But that's not true because you have all of the zodiacs in your body and you're supposed to master these zodiacs. Every time I start talking to y'all, my lips get crusty. They do. And I don't even never know where my fucking shit is. Okay, there it is. All right. So, my dream, I actually emailed it to myself. So I'm going to have to get into my laptop. It's right here, though. Because that's really what I want to get into. I want to get into this dream. And what this was. And I told you most of my downloads, like most of my talking to spirit, like throughout the day, they're always talking to me. They're always talking to me like full conversation, like me and the spirit are sitting in the same room. They're always talking to me, okay? But at nighttime, it's a little different. Or like right when I'm finna wake up, it's a little different. So I explained to you guys, I don't know why I be putting this shit on so hard. I be rubbing this shit out, this shit, boy. I want to put this shit on my lips. Anyways. So at nighttime, like right as I'm falling asleep and right as I'm waking up from my sleep, it'd be a little different when the spirits come. It's like I'm like having an out of body experience or something. Like now, if the spirits are coming to me, if the spirits was to come to me right now, either I'm going to be able to see them, and if I cannot see them, I'll still be able to hear them talking to me or whatever. But it's like I'm still in my body, like normal shit. Like I'm still in my body. I'm still doing like everyday shit. But when I'm going to sleep, it's like I'm there. I'm over there. I'm on the other side or whatever. This is right when I'm falling asleep and right when I'm waking up is when the shit is like real, real potent or whatever, right? So I guess I was waking up this morning and I also want to rant too. But I'm gonna rant after the dream because I'm gonna get the spiritual shit out the way, okay? So I was waking up this morning, and as I was waking up, sometimes like before I open my eyes will be moving in around my head or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I was hearing be our guest, put your magic to the test. Beauty and the Beast, right? Let me get to my email because I had ended up emailing it to myself because I couldn't find a pen or a paper. And I always keep a notebook by me. I don't know. I was just all discombobulated this morning, so I just ended up emailing because my cell phone was right there, and I just emailed the dream to myself instead of writing it down. So I'm getting into my email now. You guys, my laptop, you guys are above my laptop. So you guys are on a stand above my laptop. My laptop is like right here. Okay. So let me get into my email. Yeah, I gotta open up a whole nother fucking. I got more than one email, y'all, so I gotta check my other one. Because I don't want to forget nothing. All right, so yeah, it was Beauty and the Beast, and they were singing Be Our Guest, and everything was enchanted in the home that I was in, right? And I hope my family members is watching this shit because bitch. Okay? So the home that we were at, that this was happening in, was the house that I grew up in, which is the Wicked Witch of the Midwest's house. This is my mother's house, 1144. She still lives there right now to this day, right? And I know that she's a witch, and I know that she had done many rituals in that house and buried shit in the backyard and all kinds of crazy shit. So that's for the feds. If you're watching, you know you can get that information from me because I'm psychic and I'm gonna tell you exactly where this bitch got her shit at because we don't like her ass. But anyways, the house was enchanted. The stuff in the house was moving around, and I'm dancing, and it's a pure tale of Beauty and the Beast, right? The stuff is like literally her pianos, the silverware, everything in that motherfucker's dancing around. Be our guest, put your magic to the test, right? And then all of a sudden I turn, like I'm dancing, like ballroom style dancing. And then I turn and then I'm looking at the front door. And I don't give a fuck who sees this because your ass is done. As so above, so below. As so without, so within. I went over there and I murked your bitch ass. I fucking murdered you. Period. Okay? So I turn to the fucking door, right? And I see the ex, right? The ex-husband, the narcissist, the warlock that's doing all the shit, right? And I don't know where I got this from, and I don't give a fuck because this is in Dreamland, Dreamland, Dreamville, whatever the fuck. This is over there. And again, that's the real world too. This world, this waking world that we're in right now is more fake than that is. All right. So he comes to the door, and because I've already had all of this knowledge or whatever, and I wasn't under any type of spells, and this really is a case of Beauty and the Beast. I'm the beauty, that nigga's the beast, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where the fuck I got this gun from. I have no idea. But like I said, I was dancing and I turned and the front door was open and then boom, there he was. And he didn't make it into my mother's house at all. He didn't make it in there at all. Okay. Front door is open. The screen door is closed. I shot his ass right here through the fucking door. Through the fucking door. 13:33 on the clock. And I'm telling this dream because the reason why I'm telling this dream is because I'm not one of those people that feel like you shouldn't tell your dream. I had a dream probably like 10 years ago, right? Of the same person, same ex-husband, the preacher, the warlock, right? Same person, right? I had a dream of him like 10 years ago, and I was living in St. Louis, and I was in a one-bedroom apartment. I had a dream that he called me, and he apologized for abandoning me with the children and leaving me and all that other shit, right? And then I wrote that dream down. Something said, get up and write that dream down. I wrote that dream down, right? And then the very fucking, that day, it wasn't even the next day. It was that day. It was like I woke up, I wrote the dream down, and then I went on about my day. Getting with my dude at the time. I had a boyfriend. It wasn't him. Getting with my dude at that time or whatever. And having him to come over. We about to smoke and all that shit. And then when the dude gets over there, my current boyfriend. Now, this is reality after I've already had the dream. 10 years ago, okay? Which is why I'm telling this one on the camera, okay? After my boyfriend gets there, we're sitting at the table and we're smoking weed or whatever. And we chilling and shit. My ex-husband literally calls and he says, you know, I apologize for leaving you and the children. I apologize for abandoning you. Now, he wasn't talking that I want to come back and be a family shit. He was just simply saying, look, I made a mistake. I know I can't come back. I know I can't fix this shit. I apologize, right? This is what he was doing in the dream. In real life, that day, just a few hours later, he actually ended up calling and doing that shit, right? So that's why I'm on the live telling this video about me shooting you in your head, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because the bullet don't have to come from me. It don't got to come from me. Because in the dream world, it's already done. That's so above, so below. But anyways, so I shot his ass, right? And I don't know where the fuck the gun came from. I don't know. I just know. And I don't even know how I got to my childhood home. All right? I don't even know how I got to my childhood home. I shot his ass right between his eyes. And he fell on the porch. Oh, trigger warning, you guys. Even though I'm already talking about this shit. Trigger warning, and it's graphic. Okay? So I shot him right between his eyes. Glasses flew off, like shattered them motherfuckers, like motherfucker fall dead, and then all his brains and shit is on my mother's porch. All right, it's on the porch, and I'm in there, right? And this is a weird ass dream. You know how you go from one dream to the next. I mean, from one scene to the next scene, right? And I see I'm losing people. I don't give a fuck. It is graphic. This is what happened in the dream world last night. I mean, the kingdom suffers violence. A real war going out here in these spiritual streets. This nigga tried to run up on me in the spirit realm, and I shot the fucking shit out of his ass. All right, and he was dead in the dream, right? And I didn't get in any trouble also in the dream. So that's another reason why I'm finna tell it, because I ain't getting no fucking trouble. It's because these people, it's like people already had knew what this person was trying to do to me, and that this person was trying to hurt me or whatever, right? So he's on the porch, and he's dead, and his guts, his brains and shit is all on my mother's porch. Those of you all who know me, you know exactly what my mama's porch looks like, okay? So they're all on the porch, and I go back into the room, and then in the dream, I start to get sick to my stomach. In the dream, I'm like, oh my God, I just killed this nigga, right? And then I'm panicking, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I just killed this nigga. And then it went to excitement. It went to happiness. It was like, you killed that nigga. Like, for real. Like, for real, right? And I don't give a fuck who think I'm crazy or whatever. This nigga been trying to kill me since he met me. All right, period. And I'm not even a violent person. This is literally somebody who's been attacking me in the physical realm and in the spiritual realm. But in the spiritual realm last night, see, my nigga, I got that ass. It's nothing you're going to be able to do. Checkmate, bitch. I should have named this video Checkmate, because I already know once I do it over there, you done over here. You're done over here. This is how I'm able to do my magic, too. That's how my magic works. I go over there in the spirit realm. I do what I got to do in the spirit realm, and then I get over here, and then I just wait until it happens. You know what I'm saying? So I get overwhelmed and shit, and like I said, I'm sitting in the back room. I go back into the childhood room in the house in which I had. You said, well, right. I'll go back into the childhood room that I had as a child in my adoptive mother's house, and I'm sitting there and I'm on a bed. And what's weird is, this is out of nowhere. Let me put my email back up so I don't skip nothing. All right. The police didn't even come, man. The police didn't even come. That's what's weird, right? What's weird is the police did not even come, right? It was like they sent somebody. Like, I remember calling the police in a dream, and it's like they sent somebody just to come and clean it up. Like, they sent somebody to come and clean up his body and clean up the blood, but the police did not come or anything like that. They just sent like a tow truck. It was like a tow truck with like a morgue thing in the back of it, but it looked like a tow truck or a truck or an 18-wheeler or something like that. But it had the big front like a tow truck would have, or an 18-wheeler would have. That's who they sent. And it was just like they were there to clean up the blood and clean him up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they never said anything to me, and they didn't arrest me, and they never called the police or anything. And I remember there were some neighbors, Mexicans. And what's crazy is my mom's neighbors right now were some Mexicans. They weren't, when I lived there, it was a white person, like a white family at first, and the white people moved out. Then we got a black family there. And then when I was grown and gone out of my mom's house, then this Mexican family that actually lives there right now to this day, next door, they were in my dream too. And I don't know them because I was already grown and out of the house by the time that they moved next door to my mom. You know what I'm saying? So 1844 on the clock. So they were out there and they were like crying like, oh my God, like there's a dead body right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a male Mexican and there was a girl Mexican, and I see the male Mexican saying like, come on, let's mind our fucking business. Like, he sees me, he makes eye contact, and then I ain't crying or nothing. I'm like, you know, I'm still in that excitement. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Still a little panic because I'm like, am I gonna go to jail? I just killed this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And he makes eye contact with me, and then he gets his girl or his daughter or whoever this person is to him. And then he, you know, takes him back next door. Like, come on, we just watched from our porch, our property. Because they was on my grass, on my mom's grass at first, trying to see, like, damn, this bitch just straight off this nigga. Right, Mexicans were everywhere. There was a lot of them. They were in the dream, right? So, when I look back again, after the Mexican leaves, his body was gone, right? So the tow truck people, after the Mexicans go back into their yard, which I don't even know why they walked over into my mom's yard. It's because the houses are next to each other, right? So top of the morning, right? So the houses are next to each other. So this is my mom right here, my mom's house. Then there's gonna be the yard. Then there's the Mexican's house. Then there's the driveway. Then there's the yard. Then there's the other house. You know what I'm saying? So they could have really, they didn't have to be on my mom's grass. They could have really just seen everything that was happening right from their porch. Just come out and look over. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, they were in her yard. But anyways, when I look back out there, they had cleaned him up. Well, he was gone. The body was gone, but the blood was there. And then I also remember hearing from the councils, the council, right, in the dream, the elder council. Now, they weren't there physically. I could just hear them, like, from the heavens, like, looking down and shit. And they was like, she got his ass, y'all. She got his ass. She got his ass. She got his ass. That's what I kept hearing. Like, the elders were saying this. Now, you couldn't see any of them because they weren't there. They were, you know how on them movies, how, like, they be looking from through the clouds at the top. It'd be like they are in outer space in some type of layer or some shit, and they looking through a big ass glass plane of their fucking spaceship down on the earth, and what the fuck they could see down there or whatever. It was like I could hear them talking from there, but I was on the earth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they were celebrating. They was like, she got his ass. We got his ass. Boop, 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 boop. Right? And then all I could see on the ground really was just like a little pile of blood and then a chunk of his guts. Just like a chunk on the ground right there, right? And then what's funny is, because those of you all who do know me or whatever, or had conversations with me, when I first came back to St. Louis, right, I ended up moving into a cousin's house. And this is from that side of the family. This is my mother's niece from that side of the family, my adoptive mother's niece, right? So I ended up moving in with her. She's our only family member that had been in the penitentiary and done some crazy shit. And I moved out of there into the house that had manifested in 11 days because this bitch was trying to rob me. Right? She was trying to rob me and set me up to be murdered and to be killed. Oh, that's why I'm bringing this up, because she was in that dream too. Bitch, you next. So if you watching this, cuz, you next. All right? And I'm just going to be honest with you. And these aren't threats. I don't want anybody to be like, oh my God, she's threatening people. No, I ain't threatening no motherfucking body, okay? This is not threats, all right? It just is what it is. Motherfuckers, be ye kind in the likeness of strangers, even if it's your family member, because you could be entertaining angels unaware. You don't know who that person's soul is. You don't know who this, how much power this person has. I feel like it's a video game. Like I have power, like to just go over there and off your ass, bitch. And I'm not finna hesitate. And I didn't even know that was the mission that we was gonna be on last night. Like I go to sleep unless I set my intention to go to a different reality or a different realm. I'm just going off into Dreamland. So I don't know where I'm going or where I'm going to end up or what I'm doing when I go to sleep. But yesterday, it was like I was on a kill mission, like flat the fuck up, flat the fuck out on that bitch, okay? I was on a kill mission, and I was fucking motherfuckers up, right? So this cousin or whatever, I was really nervous in the dream. That was something else too. Y'all know I don't smoke cigarettes no more this week. So I don't smoke cigarettes no more. I was really nervous in the dream because I was like, oh my God, I done killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? I killed this nigga or whatever. But it was justified because literally like the people were just like not even phased. The neighbor was kind of phased. But that's it. The police didn't come at all. They only sent, like, when I reported that I killed him, they just sent, like I said, they just sent somebody to come and scoop his ass up, get the body and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, the cousin that was in the dream, like, I don't smoke cigarettes right now, but in the dream, I was really nervous, and I was like, I need a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, she was sick in the bed, too. She was sick in the bed. I don't know where the fuck this bitch came from, but y'all know how dreams go, right? She was sick in the bed. And she was like, I'm gonna go get you some cigs, cuz I'm gonna go get you some cigs. And what was crazy about it is the ass so above, so below. Like I was smoke when I came back to St. Louis, I smoked cigarettes. And she didn't smoke cigarettes. She smoked them. She was one of those people that she would never buy a pack of cigarettes. But if she seen somebody with some cigarettes, she'll just let me get a squirt to death. You get what I'm saying? Instead of just going to go buy her a pack of cigarettes or whatever. So in the dream, I was getting nervous because of course I just off this nigga, and I was thinking like, I'm probably gonna go to jail or whatever. So I was like, I want a cigarette or whatever, you know? And she was like, hey cuz, out of nowhere, out of the bed, she get up. I'm gonna go get you a cigarette. If I sound kind of masculine, it's because she a stud or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She like, hey cuz, I'm gonna go get your cigarettes. I'm like, all right. And then something was telling me not to give her my money. And I know that I don't know why I was just broke in the goddamn dream, but I had only had like $5 in the dream, right? So I'm reaching to give her the money to go up to the street to go get the cigarettes, and from where my mom's house is, so say it's like one of them little streets, right? So my mom lives smack dab in the middle of the street, and then if you go up this way here, oh, there's the Cardinal. There's the Cardinal right here on my windowsill coming to see me. It's the female one, all right? And I told you it's a male Cardinal and a female Cardinal that comes to see me every day, but they're right there now. But anyways, and I think this would be like my grandma. So that's another sign too. So Lorraine is up here too. My grandma's here too, okay? So y'all can kiss all of our asses. Y'all's going down in the spirit realm. Team motherfucking truth gang, bitch. But anyways, The store is at the top of the street. My mama's house in the middle of the street, right? And I'm seeing her in the dream. I'm going into a vision, and something that's like, do not give this bitch your money, right? And I know in real life, and this is how I know you next, cuz if you're watching this. So if you're a family member of mine, please kindly forward this video to her. And I don't give a fuck. And if spirit tells me something about you motherfuckers, I'm gonna put this shit on blast. I don't give a fuck. I give no fuck about you because y'all didn't give a fuck about me. So, anyway, spirit was like telling me not to trust her. And I didn't trust her when I was here, which is why I ended up moving out of her house so fast, because I could feel like she was trying to rob me. I literally had money to get my kids air mattresses, and this is how she was trying to rob me, right? So when I come back from being with Bobby D's family in Alabama, I come back to St. Louis. Y'all know that just happened last year. And when I come here, I didn't bring anything with me but our clothes and my spiritual supplies, like my statue of Santa Muerte and clothes and my spiritual supplies. That's it. That's all I bought. So when I got here, I hopped down that day. I had brought 4 air mattresses. I bought 4 air mattresses. I bought us all like sheet sets and pillows and all that other shit. So the bitch thought I had bank, but I'm a single mother. So I always try to keep me some type of reserve because I have kids. I'm responsible for other people's lives. That's what I'm going to rant about after this. We're going to talk about, it's a YouTuber named Let It Go. And I don't talk about other people YouTubers, like, or whatever, but he's really getting on my nerves, so I'm just going to say something. And I don't give a fuck if he finds this video, because, bitch, I just don't give a fuck, because I feel like the stuff that you're saying is horrible, okay? But anyways, and I'm offended, because, you know, I fall into the category of some of the people that you may be talking about. But anyways, I didn't give her my money in the dream, and that's kind of where I woke up at. And I felt like spirit was telling me, like, no matter what, you cannot trust your family members. You can't treat people that you thought you could trust. You cannot trust them. This bitch seen that I had a little bit of money, and she was going to rob me, and I kept seeing it. And Leisure the Warrior will vouch, and maybe even Sion Waller will vouch for me with this story, because I kept having visions when I first moved to St. Louis of my cousin, my own cousin, because she thought I had money. I was buying my kids food. I didn't get food stamps. I had a little money, but I ain't had no money. Like, you know, it was a few stacks I had saved, but it wasn't like no thousands. It was thousands, but not. It was less than 10,000. That's what I'll say. It was less than 10,000, but I kept having visions of her trying to get money out of me, because she was asking me, hey, cuz, she said she wanted $75 a week, but I had bought her food, bought all the cleaning products, bought hygiene products, bought her a heater because it was winter, because she didn't have a heater or nothing in her house. I bought her a heater and all that other shit, and I gave her cash. And because she thought I had money, and she seen how I was spending money on my kids, but just to survive, she kept asking me for money like every day. And I have tribe members that will vouch for this shit. She kept asking me for money every day. She was like, I need $50. I need $25. And then she was even, the day that I left her and moved into another house that I manifested, right, she was even like, okay, so the landlord is charging per person per lights, so I need you to give me $25 per person, which it was 4 of us, me, my son, my daughter, and all that stuff, and we was all living in one room, you know what I'm saying? And I had already given her over, like, you know, we hadn't even been, I think we stayed with her 11 days, and I had already given her like $500. And I was giving it to her because she was saying she was behind on stuff and all that other shit. And then I wasn't giving it to her fast enough. But that little last time that I was there, I kept having these waking visions of her getting me in the backseat of a car with her homegirl. And this was a stud bitch too, because she a stud and they dressed like studs. So all her friends, they studs too. You said, yeah, you remember that as well, right? This bitch was straight finna fucking try to rob me, man. And in the fucking vision that I had, I ended up getting shot in the motherfucking chest in the back of this car, because she gonna take me to an ATM. And this is when I actually had to, I think Leisure the Warrior may have done it. I'm not sure who did it. I think Leisure the Warrior may have done it, because there was a tribe member that I was on the phone with, and this is like one of y'all. I was on the phone when this was happening, and I didn't have the money in my Cash App. I had it like $25 here, $25 there, and then I had another card that couldn't be hooked up to any money transfer apps with all the money on it. And a tribe member ended up sending this girl $50 so I didn't have to get in the car with her, because I had it, but I didn't have it on me. I ended up sending it back. Of course, I don't be using nobody for no money, but I'm just saying though, I sent it back. But she, just because I didn't have Zelle, and the tribe member that I was on the phone with, tell her, look, I can see this woman. I'm a psychic. She's going to pull a gun on me and try to rob me. Her and her fucking dyke ass friend. Excuse me if you gay, but this, I don't give a fuck. These people's trying to kill me. Pull a gun on me because they think I have this money, and I did. But the money was for me to get into a house with my children when I relocated. So I did have the money, but the money was for me and my kids. And this is a family member. And she kept trying to get money out of me every day, for one, to check to see how much money I had. And then for two, she knew that I had this money that I was trying to move with, to try to get me to give her all the money slowly, right? So then when it was time for me to move, I didn't have a deposit. I didn't have nothing so I could move with. So I felt like that part being in my dream, and then also like after I killed this motherfucking demon and shit that's been chasing me all around and shit like that, I also felt like my cousin showing up in a dream and offering to go to the store for me with this money and shit. Even look, in real life, right before I started to have the visions of her trying to rob me in real life, she actually did ask me for my card and tribal vouch for this shit too. Cause I told her like I didn't have the money on a card or whatever, and then she was like, "It's not." She's like, "It's snowing out there or whatever," and she was telling me she wanted me to get on the bus, and I'm like, "I'm not finna get on no goddamn bus. I'm not getting on no bus, not no public transportation, bitch, for to me to give you some money, and I've been giving you money. I just gave you money 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying, right?" So, basically, tribe member ended up sending her the money, so I didn't have to go to the get in the car with her and her homegirl or whatever. But the thing about it was this: before she came up with the idea that I should get into the car with her and her homegirl, she was like, "Cuz, why don't you just give me the pin number to your card, and I'll go to the store for you." Now, this was last year. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm a grown ass woman. I don't know exactly how old I am, but I know I'm in my 30s. I know that much. And I just told my kids just now because I had a birthday pass or whatever, but we're finna stop celebrating birthdays. We're gonna go off of Master Teacher Prince. Okay, yes, and I did say Prince, who never aged. Okay, and it's proven that his philosophy fucking works. This nigga, he never celebrated a birthday either. He never celebrated a birthday. That's why he died looking like he was 20 years old when he was like damn near 60. Okay, so I'm not celebrating that shit anymore. And Prince has already told me basically that you only born once. So you don't need to celebrate your birthdays. But basically, that's what the fuck happened in the dream. And that's why she was showing. But I feel like you still need to be careful. I feel like she showed up in my dream, even though I only had a little bit of money to try to get me out of this money. Like, I knew in the dream that she wasn't going to come back with the cigarettes. Like, if I would have gave her the money. But I said all that to say that because in the real life, there were signs that were showing me that this bitch was a fucking snake. Or this bitch was trying to get me to do some shit that I didn't feel comfortable with doing. It was just, too much for me. All right. So that was my dream. I know it was weird and all over the place, but I took it because these are real life people. I recognize these people. One was my ex-husband. My adopted mother, she was nowhere in the dream. She was nowhere in the dream. But I also feel like it was celebratory too. And then let's look at the storyline of Beauty and the Beast. Okay, so the father figure, in my case, it's a mother figure. The father figure had a debt that needed to be paid. So what the fuck did he do? He sold his goddamn daughter to the goddamn beast. Okay, and that's basically what I've been telling y'all happens to me this whole fucking time, that I have been sold to some fucking type of beast, and I have to defeat this motherfucker so I can be free, basically. And then the cousin showed up is because it's like people need to realize that your family, your friends, these are the ones that are out to get you. These are the ones that are out to get you. These are the ones that are setting you up. These are the ones that see what you have and want what you have. And the thing about it is this too, and karma is real. I seen somebody write that karma is real. Karma is real. I'm gonna tell you something too, because when we were in her house, it was something in her roof, like I don't know, like raccoons or mouse or something like that. It was something in her shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that she was trying to harm me or anything like that, but I told her that I wasn't going to give her any more money because I needed to move. I stood my ground and I was like, cuz, I have to get out of here. I have 3 kids, and I didn't like the way she was ruling over me. Like, I got 3 teenagers. She was telling them to be quiet, complaining about everything, trying to be their mama, telling them when to get in the tub and shit like that and all that other shit. My kids don't like that. As teenagers, y'all know, teenagers do not like that, especially when they have a mother or a father figure that's there to tell them, get your ass in the tub, clean up or do whatever. They don't, you ain't my mama type shit. That's how they gonna be, So they didn't like that. And she was trying to rule over us by having us in her house. And what she say go, like, she even came in the room and was like, you need to put your candles out. You can't have your candles in here. And I'm like, I almost did it, but I didn't. Because she's my little cousin. Even though it was her house, she's my little cousin. I was like, I can't do that, cuz. I thought about it because I'm in her house. And then Spirit was like, don't you fucking put that goddamn candle out, bitch. And I didn't put the candle out in her house. I was like, you know what? I can't do that. Because now you asking me to. But that was just the Spirit trying to test to see, can she dominate over me? You know what I'm saying? Like, to see, am I going to, like, she's like, I don't rock with that or whatever. So I don't want you to be having those candles lit in my house. Nah, bitch, I'm not putting my candles out. I'm not going to be in your house. But yeah, anyways, y'all watch out for y'all family and friends. And y'all take that part of the dream as it resonates because, like I said, it was personal for me. But also it does help other people in other situations because y'all could be having random dreams or whatever. And then also you never know who has had a dream that was similar to yours. I've told several Soul Tribe members my dreams. about my apocalyptic shit where there was some type of tsunami coming in on a high-rise building and the water was up, and then there were like these fire bombs coming out of the sky, and you'll be surprised how many people have told me that they've had that same exact fucking dream. But anyways, I'm gonna rant, and I probably won't pull any cards on this one. I'm sorry if you was here for that. I'll just come back and do some other shit because I want to do another story time, but we gonna come and I'm gonna talk as I put my hair in a protective style because I really don't like to leave it down. Yeah, Let It Go. I think that's this person's name. And he's talking about, he said single mothers are failures. Okay? He said like being a single mother means that you have failed. Like you cannot be a successful woman or whatever. And I try to stay away from these issues and stick to more spiritual topics. But what about, I just feel like people need to take more accountability because I've been married twice. You know what I'm saying? I've been married twice and I am a single mother, 35. And I want to just speak on, you know, my first husband went to the penitentiary for shaking one of our children. I have a daughter, the twins that y'all hear me talk about, 18 years old. One of them at 2 weeks old was shaken by their father, and she has shaken baby syndrome. That forced me to get a divorce. So that then created me to be in a situation to become a single mother, right? And then I remarried this time here again, and I went from one end of the spectrum to the next. You get what I'm saying? So like, my first husband was, it's wild, y'all. I have to tell all my story times, which I haven't told y'all, but I'm going to start coming back and sharing more with my soul tribe because y'all my family. Fuck these people. These people here are not my family. My tribe is my family, all right? So my first husband was actually a vice lord from Miami, all right? I didn't know any better. We typically do be ending up with these fucking dope boys and shit like that, and he came to start another branch in Kansas City, Missouri, somehow ended up in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not quite sure how that fucking happened, all right? I'm not a gang member at the time because he was the leader and I married him. I never told y'all this story. I married him. There was like a small affiliation, but I got pregnant. So like, I really wasn't in the streets gangbanging and shit like that. And plus, and I didn't get no tats. I don't have no vice lord tats and nothing like that. There were other females that got, you know, tatted up into that shit and all that shit as well. I'm talking about big ass tats all over their body. Vice lord. That shit say vice lord. Okay. And then from that, I cleaned my life up and shit because of what he did to our children. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that was like my ass whooping from the spirits. Like, bitch, you're here for a mission. You're not here to be in the streets or doing nothing crazy. You are here for a mission. And your children's life is at stake. Everybody's life is at stake if you don't get on the ball, right? And this is how you know you're chosen too. And that's also something I want to talk about too. All these readers is stopping reading. But anyways, yeah. So I went from that end of the spectrum, marrying this crazy motherfucker, to marrying a preacher that was disguised as a fucking warlock. I just couldn't win in this love situation, like literally. And when you marry a preacher that does some shit psychologically to you because you feel like, okay, I'm walking right, you assume that person is walking right too, and that's just not always the case. So just because I had a preacher that was cheating on me, my first husband was abusive to me, and the preacher was just crazy. Like, this nigga is fucking psychotic. He's stalking me to this day, sleeping with church members, doing drugs, just crazy shit. And I called him out on those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make me a failure. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me a failure because, see, what about the women who had no choice in being a single mother? Like, you get what I don't feel like this is not, you said not a vice lord. I didn't know nothing about that. That's what I want you to understand. Like, I didn't know nothing about that shit. I got married very young, but you got to think my family's in the industry. You get what I'm saying? My family's an industry family. So I got married at 17 years old to this gangbanger, and he was grown. So I had to be signed over legally to him. You get me? Like, that's not a choice that I was able to make myself. So like, you know, I got signed over, you know, legally. That's how I got married young. I got signed over legally. My mother signed documentation to allow a grown man to marry her daughter, her baby. Right? So, and how I got out of that marriage was literally he went to the penitentiary. That's how I got out of that marriage. But he was abusing the shit out of me. I told y'all a little bit about it in past videos. If y'all go back and watch my videos, I told y'all a little bit about it. You know, I got to smoke and shit because y'all got me going way back. Oh my God, flashback to shit, girl. I'm for real, but I ain't know nothing about that, you know. And then with the preacher situation or whatever. And it ain't that I had bad choice in men or anything like that, because you got to think about the situation when I was 17. I'm sure that there were signs. My mother and my father is the sheriff. He was a sheriff of St. Louis City. when I was growing up. My mother was a registered nurse. One of the most of my family, they are elites. They made fucking history. My grandmother being the first African-American fingerprint technician at the police department. And my mother being the first African-American nurse to fucking graduate from an all-white nursing school. They made history in the city. Okay, my family did. They're elites. And they tried to sell me to the goddamn beast. Motherfuckers. You know, but you said parenting and relationships are two different jobs. Parenting and relationships are two different jobs, but aren't you as a parent supposed to protect your child, especially your 17-year-old child? How do you sign over your 17-year-old? Because that happened to me, I wish one of my motherfucking 5 children would come in here at 17 talking about, can I get married and can you sign for it? Nah, bitch, if you need me to sign, you're not getting married. So if you would have parented correctly, then things could have been avoided. Like I've also told stories of with me being married, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Parenting and relationships are two different jobs, but you have to take responsibility for where you slacked at raising your child. How do you even let your 17-year-old get married? They're not even legally old enough to get married. How do you do that? How do you sign over the rights? And even then, if my 17-year-old child, because her excuse is, well, you was finna be 18 because I asked her why she do that. Why would you do that? You liked him. Yeah, I liked him, but I also didn't know any better. You get what I'm saying? I also didn't know any better. Because my parents were so laxy-daisy in raising me, my kids, I screen every fucking body. I screen everybody that comes into my children's lives. Relationships are two different things as well, but your first example of a relationship is also going to be your parents. Right? That's going to be your first example of a relationship, right? Right? A parent's job is to protect their kids, and my parents failed at that shit. Because y'all also remember me coming on here and telling y'all about that first husband abusing me. He was beating on me. The one that shook the child, right? He was beating on me. And then I went to my mother, and I told my mother, I said, Mama, he's beating on me. And she was in the mirror putting on her makeup. I'll never forget it. And she listened to me cry, and she see my face is blackened, and I'm crying, right? And she said, well, what did you do to him to make him hit you? And I'm looking at her like, bitch, what the fuck do you mean? What did I do to make him hit me? The fuck do you mean? He's a dude. He's stronger than me. I know I can't whoop his ass. Why would I hit him? Why would I hit him? So, super. I love you, much love, but my parents failed me, my elders failed me, and it is your job as a parent to protect your child. And signing me over underage, not even 18, is not protecting your child. That's trying to get rid of your child. That's okay. She grown, and I don't gotta wait till she 18 now. I could just sign her over. There were deals made, like I was passed around, like not sexually, but just energetically. You get what I'm saying? I was passed around like a product that you purchase, like through documentation, even sold to the elite. My second husband is a handler, the beast, the fucking warlock. He's a goddamn handler, and he lost control. He doesn't mentally have control of me anymore. The preacher who was sent in to control me through religious abuse. You have to understand how this works too. And then also, like, you gotta understand how this shit works. All right? You have to understand how this shit works. Your parents, depending on who your parents are, they will groom you from a young age to be abused because you are the child that is supposed to be sacrificed. You're not understanding. You know what I'm saying? You're the child, you know, that's supposed to be sacrificed. You said, I'm a single father. I don't consider myself unsuccessful. Well, he's saying it's the single mother's fault for being unsuccessful because there's no marriages there. I have 5 children. Only one of those children was out of wedlock. And that's because I left her father. And if I would have stayed with her father, I'm sure he would have married me. Okay? First husband did marry me. Second husband, he married me as well. But I feel like those people were sent in. And that's why I don't believe that marriage is like, whatever. I feel like what he's trying to say, this other fucking YouTuber, I feel like what he's trying to say is that black people has failed in the family unit. All right? But it just falls mostly on the woman. He says single mothers have failed because even if you're successful in business, you don't have a marriage. You don't have a man. You don't have this. You don't have that. Okay. I've always believed in the family unit, and that's why I wanted to speak on this anyways. I've always believed in the family unit and all of that. But I don't believe that because a woman is single mother that she is a failure, because you do not know what, that's all I'm speaking on my piece on what the fuck he said, is you don't know what the fuck put them in that position. You don't know what to put them in. I never did anything to my first husband. I was not, the nigga was crazy. The nigga was fucking crazy. And this is who my mother decided that she was going to sign documentation on to marry me to. And I did not even know nothing about gang life or nothing. You like, not advice. I didn't know nothing about gang life or nothing. I was a child myself. At 17 years old, I was a child myself, you know? And then when I had those twins, when he almost killed one of them, I was 19. That's when I first had my kids. I was 19 years old. And then on being a parent, I didn't have one chance to have a baby to see if I wanted one kid and say, okay, I'm going to try and do this again. I'm going to see if I can do this again. You know what I'm saying? I had twins on my first pregnancy. And then this nigga he tried to kill one. He almost killed one. And then he went to jail for that. He went to jail for that. And that's what broke up our marriage. Him trying to murder me, our child, and the police, the state stepped in. And they put him in the penitentiary. I didn't even press charges on him. Like, I literally prayed. And this is why I be saying people got to listen to spirit, okay? You have to listen to spirit, because spirit kept saying, get out, like, don't marry him, get out. And I didn't know where to go because I was 17. And all I knew was my mom and my family. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do or who, you know what I'm saying, or who to go to. And me trying to get out was me going to my mama and say, mama, he's hitting on me, thinking that she's going to be like, you know, oh, hell no. He hitting on you. We got to get you out of that situation because, you know, that's not healthy. My mom did nothing. She did absolutely nothing to stop him from hurting me, hitting me, nothing. She knew he was abusing me, and she didn't give a fuck. She didn't give a fuck. She knew he was doing it while I was pregnant. She knew he was doing it to the child. But that's the thing, though, too. My mother had also been doing black magic because she's into sacrificing kids. It's a lie, y'all. It's a lot. My very first pregnancy, I lost that baby. It was because he beat the baby out of me. But the whole time, it was like, my mother is a witch. And she was puppet mastering all of this shit. That's why you said, whoa, right, exactly. That's why she didn't give a fuck when he was beating me. She was definitely puppet mastering all the shit that the fuck went on. Remember when I put her on blast on Facebook? I did a background check in 2021 on my mother. She's a registered nurse, and she had cocaine charges and shit. And I've never in my life heard my mother even do anything horrible or anything. You know? You said that's like a Tyler Perry movie, family reunion. That's what I said. And then one tribe member told me to quit getting on here and telling my stories, y'all. And so I can get them copywritten. But they're real stories. But this is the thing, though. I think that when I publish it on here, it's going to be timestamped that I've published this. So even if somebody did try to steal my story or whatever, as long as this is dated and documented through YouTube on the internet of when this shit went into the ethers, I will win that case. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But this is really my life, though. And that really happened. You got to be groomed. And I was groomed. But all the grooming that they did backfired and turned into something spiritual. And I'm able to see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And congratulations to you, 42, Super 42, for being a single father. Because I said that too. I think my daughter, because I be talking a lot with my kids too, and she's like, what about the single dads or whatever? And I'm like, I think it's just for the women because they don't see the men like that. Like, I congratulate. And I told my sons that too, because we was talking about single dads as well. And I was like, it's a lot easier for a single dad. It is, because you always going to find, you got your baby, you always going to find a chick that be like, he's single and the baby mama ain't around and I got, he got the baby or whatever. And you're going to always find that chick that's going to want to come in and cook for you and your baby and lay down that motherly shit. But as a woman, if your house ain't in order, if your kids is out of line, if your shit is raggedy or anything, and you got a motherfucking kid outside of that nigga's kid, even though I don't know if I should say that because I've dated a lot of dudes that didn't have any kids already when I had these kids and they wanted to date me or whatever. But it wasn't never like a serious marriage situation. I'm going to be honest with you. When you have all these other kids or whatever. So it'd be different when you're a single mother, It'd be different. And I guess that's why I stay on my kids and all the other stuff and keep my house clean and I homeschool my kids and I take the utmost responsibility for my kids or whatever. Even dating dudes. And if you are watching this, I know some of my exes watch this shit. But if you are watching this shit, then y'all already know. If I was dating a dude, then I never asked him for anything concerning my children. It's always a plus. If he wants to be involved with my children's life or whatever, and because I got sons, you know what I'm saying? It's always a plus with that as well. But I never was in a situation where I had to have a dude come and help me with somebody else's kids because they daddies don't even help me and I still did it or whatever, you know. You said, Grand Rising Queen, you are so brave to tell your story. I'll shade to you. I think young mothers need to hear this real talk, sis. I think that's why they said I had went through all this shit. That's what the spirit said. That's why they said I had went through all this shit so I can help other people. And I like the stuff that I have been through in this one lifetime is enough for many lifetimes. And that's why I wanted to sell it to like Netflix or something. You say, yes, copyright. Because that's why very few know my story is juicy. I mean, I believe that it is copywritten during this. Like, because they have to prove that, first of all, you're going to have to prove that this happened to you. And then I'm just going to sue the shit out of you. And then if they did do this, if they did steal my story, they fucking with the wrong one. Like, the deities that I fuck with, like, they're not going to win. I got the most high honorable judge, like, literally around my neck. Like, my nigga, like, you're not going to win. I walk with death, life and death. The judge is with me. I am a judge in this motherfucker. I am a judge on I sit on a council of judges. They're not going to be able to get away with stealing my story. This is what this is all about. Because my mom wanted to steal my story. My ex-husband wanted to steal my story and my money. And they was going to doppelgang me with this nigga's new wife. Or whatever. There's wedding pictures that exist right now of, it's weird shit. Wedding pictures that exist right now of my mother, my ex-husband, his new wife, and my twin daughters. And they just got married in 2021, right? They got married, I think it was 2 days after my aunt's funeral, who was really my mother. Because I found out at the funeral that just passed here in 2021 that, because I speak to spirits, and these people stupid as fuck. They been knew I spoke to spirits all my life. This whole family knew this shit. So basically, when one person crosses over, they start talking to me and shit. So I know for sure that my mom is really my auntie. My adoptive mother, we look nothing alike. I never bonded with her. I never felt any connection to her whatsoever. She always treated me like a stepchild. And I told you, the videos, I mean, the movies and shit that she would have me constantly watch as I was a child was Mommy Dearest. And The Bad Seed. And a lot of fairy tales like Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast and shit like that, because I'm a goddamn princess and this bitch is an evil fucking stepmother. Right? And she fed me the poison apple. And I believe like she tried to sacrifice my kid and everything. But I don't want to get into that. There's too many story times. All right. You said write a book. I wrote a book at first and I had wrote a book, and this was I think it was in 2006. Book is unpublished. The name of the book is The Bloodline. Right? I wrote the book called The Bloodline. And it's just funny to me that that would be my first book that I wrote. It was never published, and now look at what's going on in my life. And I feel like it was never published because the story isn't finished. They're not done giving me the story or whatever, you know. It is what it is. But you said, I don't know how to copyright. How do you copyright? How do you copyright stuff? Somebody tell me. And then I wanted to talk about the readers. That's what I wanted to talk about next. I want to talk about these readers because I've been noticing, and I just came hip to readers after they had done some magic on me, right? So after the funeral, they did some magic on me, and they wanted me to not be able to see what the fuck was really going on. Like my mother really wasn't my mother and all of that other shit. No, not LLC. That's when you opening up a business. That's a LLC. So they didn't want me to see what was going on. So they did some magic to like blind me and shit like that. And on my timelines and shit like that, they was fucking with my crown chakra. So y'all know I ain't never used cards. I just heard spirits and I seen spirits. So they told me to pick up the cards. So if anything should happen, like if any of the magic should even slightly hit, they'll still be able to communicate with me. Because they didn't want any of the messages that I receiving through telepathy and seeing shit and all that other shit to be distorted. So I started to pick up the cards. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. But a lot of truth was revealed to me, man. And I'm gonna somehow get this shit out. All right. I didn't even see this. I'm gonna read y'all comments, and then we're gonna talk about these readers. Not reading, okay? My mother did this to me when I was in a domestic violence relationship and told my mother, she said, I made my bed, I must lie in it. Heavy heart. That's crazy that, you know, and I think people be jealous, like they want you to get beat. Like it's weird. It's really weird. Like my mother did nothing about it. And then even as I had the children and shit like that, she knew he was beating on me and all that. She never tried to protect me, not once. And that's how I know she do not love me. She never tried to protect me, not one time. Ever. Even when I came to her and I told her, and that's why I am the way that I am with my children. Excuse me, my kids know you ain't gotta say shit but a word, motherfucker. Who doing something to you, baby? Who doing something to you? Let me know. It's cry loud, spare not. And I don't give a fuck if it's your sister, your cousin, your brother, or any of that. I don't care. My kids already know. Even if one of their older siblings try to hit them or hurt them, I say, you better say something. Because when I leave the house, I don't want them to feel like they finna beat the fuck out of you if you say something, or you more scared of them than you are of me. You know what I'm saying? And you're not, I don't like that. But anyways, I'm sorry. I was looking at my dream or whatever. You said your mom wanted you to be gay in college. I think they wanted me to be gay too. But I told y'all too about that. I need to tell my story time about my sister, y'all. Because the bitch is gay for real. That's why I don't let my kids play that. You're not finna be calling your sibling gay and shit. And that shit used to hurt my feelings. My sister used to be like, you a lesbian. You a lesbian. But that's because I was very athletic when I was younger. Okay? I was very, very athletic. And I like basketball shorts. And I ran track. I swam. I played volleyball. I cheerleaded. I did a lot of shit when I was younger. Okay? I was into gymnastics and all that shit. And I was just athletic. I didn't care to dress up and do the nails and shit like that. I wanted to flip and climb trees and shit, So she was extra girly. So she would always call me gay and lesbian. 555, this bitch gay than a motherfucker after 6 kids. So it's kind of, isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. Yeah, I really do think. That's a spirit song. It's like rain on your wedding day. Y'all know that song. That's Alanis Morissette. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to talk about these spiritualists quick, and then I'm going to get the fuck up out of here. Okay? I'm going to get the fuck up out of here. Yeah, it says you can't be successful. Yeah. You say your mama used to make you always put the candles out when you leave the house. I wouldn't let them stay lit. She used to blow them out. Then she stopped doing that. I don't know why. Well, maybe she's into, spiritual stuff, and now she can keep them on or whatever. For safety reasons, you can keep the candles on, but I don't never turn my candles off. I don't never turn my candles off. I need the spirit to be able to see I'm right here. You give them the light because they're in the darkness, and they can't see. You know what I'm saying? And then you give them the water because it's a life force. So I'm going to look into the copyright too. You say, I love that song, especially on my way to work. That's one of the songs me and my sister sung in karaoke. I might as well just tell y'all since I got y'all here. It don't even matter. I might as well just tell y'all. I mean, my sister, we was really close. We was really close growing up. I really liked her. I looked up to her a lot. She would do shit. She would call me like gay and shit. And I remember when my mama would leave the house, she would like try to beat me up and shit like that. Beat me with tennis rackets and shit. And really what it was is that she was like word witching me all the time, all the rip though. She would always word witch me with the gay shit. Like I said, you're gonna be gay. And it's just keep it real for the record. I ain't never been gay. I ain't never been with no female ever. I'm in my 30s and I don't ever plan on being it. Every female is not like that. I'm not like that. I don't give a fuck. Bitch, no. I'm not finna put my face down there, bitch. Never. Like, bitch, you got me fucked up. And it's not being homophobic or anything. You have a period. I got a period. You know what that's like. I know what that's like. It's kind of gross, ain't it? It is. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. So that's one. Right? And then 2, I feel like I'm the queen. So I couldn't be in a polygamous relationship. I need to be the center of attention. I'm going to make my man the center of attention. We gonna make each other the center of attention. So we don't want this third wheel bitch or whatever. So I can't be doing that shit. I'm the goddess. Like, my energy is too dominant. And I would never want to put another sister down because I'm not going to let you. Man, I don't even know how we would be able to stand beside each other. I'm just going to be honest. Is that wrong? You know what I'm saying? You said, have I ever thought about starting a storytelling group, like some testimonials? Girl, I got to get my stories together. Okay? In my groups too, because I get overwhelmed because I'm constantly always having experiences with the spirits. I'm constantly always having experiences with them. And then it's like, I don't be over one experience before I go through another experience. I'm not over it in my mental. I'm not. I'm like still processing. Like it takes me a while to process what the fuck happened to me. See, I just went off and started biting my nails and shit. Like, going off into some fucking MK Ultra shit. For real. Because it's like, they did some shit. I've had some shit done to me. And it was all by design. But I feel like, you know, it flicks some shit on. You said, I think copyright would be a government thing. So make sure it says .gov. And it also, I don't know if you went to copyright or trademarks. I think that's what that little watermark is. If y'all look on the bottom of y'all screen, it's probably like right there or something like that. It's one of my artworks. All right, so I drew that too. It's like a dreadhead girl. It's drawn in pen on like a regular piece of notebook right here in the corner of your screen. I don't know if it shows up on live, but afterwards it'll be there when I go back in and put my shit there. That right there, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. Because y'all take me back into my memory, and that's why it takes me so long to make these fucking videos. Because I have to go back into it, and it be layers to the stories and shit. But whatever. I want to talk about these spiritualists, all right? That's where we're getting at, okay? Talking about these spiritualists, I've noticed a lot of the spiritualists or tarot card readers that did come across my timeline when they were fucking with my crown chakra. Spirit started to send these people on my YouTube timeline and shit, these different readers, and they would just put their message there, and I would click on it. Now, I don't subscribe to any of these. I will prove that to y'all. I'll show y'all my screen and shit. I don't subscribe. None of these motherfuckers, they just pop up. So if you are a reader and I know of you, it's because somehow you came up on my fucking allegory shit here on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And I seen you on my timeline, and I clicked on your video. That's the only reason why I would know you. I don't watch other readers or anything like that. But these readers came up, and the fuck? Why am I losing my train of thought? This really doesn't really happen to me. I think I went too far deep. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, for real. I think I went too far deep. That's why I have to write these videos down. Oh, okay. There it is. These readers are backing out now. Like, some of these readers are coming across my timeline again, and they're like, I'm not doing tarot no more. I can't do this. I can't do this no more. Like, I threw away all my cards. Like, I'm seeing that. You know what I'm saying? A lot. There it is. Maybe somebody didn't want me to get this message out, or I went too deep, or whatever. I don't know. But those spiritualists were not born for this shit. There it is. That's what I'm getting at, okay? They weren't born for this shit, because this is not something that you can put down. You can pick it up and you can put it down. So if there's a reader that you were following, or, you know, that has come across your timeline or whatever, and they was once reading cards, but now they're not reading cards anymore, and it's always your choice to read cards or whatever, but now they're not doing it, not even for their personal self, and they don't have to record videos of them doing it. But when you hear them saying, like, I threw away all of this, you know what I'm saying, I threw away all my cards, I threw away everything like that, it's because they were never ordained. You get me? Does that make sense? Okay. It was because of that. They were never ordained to do this shit. The reason why my stories are like this is because, like, this is the training that you go through when the spirits are going to use you. They put you through all kind of shit. Y'all see me playing with this dial. It's probably because I'm trying to talk and I have to appease my inner child at the same time. If you are like a psychologist or some shit, like, examining this video, then you would know that I'm telling 100% the truth or what the fuck I'm talking about. And then also, you can just be able to look at my body language and see that some shit has taken place, okay? Yeah. Some shit has taken place. And I don't like to, like, really show a vulnerable side of me. I like to, like, be in order and write stuff down. That's why y'all see me with my notebook. And I'm always, because I like to have my thoughts in order and shit like that. You know? You said kids get distracted, LOL. So this could be like my inner child coming out. And I did tell y'all that everybody does have this too. This could be like my inner child coming out too as well, like I said. Everybody does have that too. Like, they have that inner child. They have their teenage them. Different phases of you create multiples, like, not multiple personalities. You say you think it's cool. It is kind of cool. It's not multiple personalities or anything like that, but it's a thin line, okay? It's a thin line, because people hear voices, and what do they say? They say it's schizophrenia and shit like that. But I don't hear voices to the point where I feel like it's schizophrenia and shit like that, because, like I said, when I hear a voice, I don't have to listen to that voice. And I know the difference between my higher self and that voice. So, like, your grandma that come to talk to me or whatever, or my grandma that comes to talk to me, I know completely I'm not going crazy. I don't know how somebody could go crazy unless they did not know their own voice. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. It's a thin line. That's what I'm saying. Because the same people will say that they hear voices, they could be in a psych ward for hearing voices. But I hear voices and I make money. I pay off car notes and houses and bills and take care of my shit, take care of my kids with the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I guess it's just all about how you handle it and you approach it. But inner child needs to be healed and shit like that. And I do want to talk to y'all about this shit though. That's why I had to take a few days of break after I told the story, the part 1 about the warlock. I had to take a break. I felt good, and my kids was like, "How you feel?" I'm like, "I feel good. I feel empowered because I've been holding this shit in. Y'all got to keep in mind, this I have not spoke on this situation for like 10 years. I held this situation in for 10 years, and not that I was scared to speak on what happened with the preacher and I, or the situation with me. It's just that I was so consumed with just trying to make it with my children out here. It's been very hard for me. I was very, very consumed with that, just trying to make it out here with my children. I knew I had a lot of opposition out here. I've been through a lot, and I couldn't figure out what this force was. I knew I had gifts. I could not figure out what the supposing force was or why I was almost always dying, like always in death situations. I had so many near-death experiences. It's not even funny. Now I know, like I said, I'm not traumatized. I learned from it or whatever, but now I know why these spirits have come to me and why I was able to hear these spirits and shit like that. The voices and shit that I heard, they helped me to stay alive and shit like that. And I don't be reading no cards and shit for no hobbies and shit. And that's another reason why I put the cards down for a few days, because that's really the shit that I be talking about. It be deep, heavy ass shit. People don't want to hear what people are really like doing out here. They hearts is wicked. Okay? Their hearts is wicked. So when the oracle come out talking about murder and child sacrifice and shit like that, everybody don't want to hear that shit all the time. I don't want to hear that shit all the time either, but that's really what people are out here doing. And it has to be called out and it has to be exposed. So somebody had to survive to tell the truth. Okay? Somebody had to survive to tell the truth. You said a lot of those crazy house people got sense and are being locked away, in my opinion. A lot of those crazy house people were gifted, and then they had the same thing happen to them that happened to me. They had a group of people that were considered elite in the community go against them and try to label them as crazy. See, that's what they was trying to do for me, and then all of it was for my good, though, y'all. All of it was for my good, because while they had exiled me, where most of y'all had met me at, when I was traveling the country in different states, when I was in Louisiana, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Omaha, Nebraska. I traveled so many places. I went to Chicago, right? These were them casting these spells to exile me so that they could rob me and tell people in the community that wanted to work with me that I was on drugs or I was a whore or I was a crackhead or I was a bad mother because I wasn't around my family. So they made it seem like that, but they was really doing black magic to exile me. And while they was doing that shit, it was like playing a fool card in real life. Like spirit had me moving from place to place like that. They wanted people to think I was unstable. Well, really, spirit was moving me because these people were straight trying to kill me, man. And unbeknownst to me, I'm dodging these people hit means and shit. And I have to think about that, and I have to deal with that and cope with that daily too. And I'm a parent myself. It's hard for me, y'all. I don't know where the fuck how we got here, but we here, so fuck it. I'll roll up some more, okay? But anyways, as a parent myself, to know what type of parent I am, I'm very loving, and then I'm not abusive to my children. Now I yell at them and I curse at them and shit like that. I ain't gonna lie, and I be like, you motherfuckers. But I do say that, like, you motherfuckers and shit like that. You know, I say that to my kids, whatever. Because it's 3 of them and it's 1 of me or whatever, but I'm not abusive to them or anything for me to have experienced all this abusive. And a lot of people say that abuse people become abusers or hurt people. I have fault, okay? I have fault within my mind and within my body to stay healed and of a sound mind during all of this stuff and what these people have done to me. And to not want to, like, do I want to kill them? Yeah, I want them to die. But I'm not wrong for that. I'm not wrong for that. And Spirit explained to me how I wasn't wrong for that either, because there's gonna be a Christian motherfucker on here. Spirit telling me that too. It's gonna be a Christian motherfucker on here like, how are you spiritual and you want these people to die? It's just the law of attraction, okay? So you get out there what you get. So somebody has wanted to like kill you and murder you this whole time and sacrifice you, and you think about how positive you are and how loving you are and how you're just a good person and you're just out here for humanity. Nobody is ever gonna be able to tell you that I've done anything wrong to them. I promise you it's a lie, and I'll be willing to confront, and I give everybody. That's why when y'all see people combat me, I always give them an open opportunity to do so on my platforms, like Facebook or whatever. If they try to come on there and talk shit to try to like say they finna embarrass me or something, come on here and talk about it, because nobody in real life can say that I've done anything to really hurt them. So I didn't deserve this treatment from my family and my friends or whatever, and all these people that have done these things to me. But I don't treat my children like that, and this is why people is getting cut off from bloodlines, because I decided that I wasn't gonna go that route. For real. This shit hard though. But it made me feel better to talk about it and to get it off my chest. And for a long time, I didn't feel like anybody was going to believe me. Even with the spiritual shit. I didn't feel like anybody was going to believe me because there were spirits that had came. But like I said, this has been happening all my life. It was spirits that had came that told me, if you tell anybody that you can hear us or see us or anything, we're going to send you to the psych ward. I said that on a video years ago. That's real shit. It would be low-level entities that would come down here and... Why do I have these cards? I don't want these cards. Low-level entities that would come down here and literally be like, bitch, if you say anything, we're going to put you in a psych ward. I finally got the courage to speak, like I said, when Papa Legba came to me. And that was really my grandmother's spirit and the archangels and Papa Legba's spirit was the only spirits I felt comfortable with. All the other spirits that I had, I could hear and I could see. I ain't trust none of them motherfuckers. And you shouldn't. Especially just angels too that you don't know. You should not trust them either because you don't fucking know them. And they have ulterior motives too. You never know. But real readers and shit like that, they go through shit like this. They go through shit like this. They be traumatized. And they go through shit. I got a kid right here. What do you want? You're just here? You're just here because you're here? Okay, we'll go find something to do. I'm chilling with my tribe. I'm going to get you logged on in a second. See, that's the freedom of homeschooling your kids, too. I remember one day I was really busy. And I didn't get a chance to sit down until about 4 o'clock. Then I had my kids just go ahead and do night school. You know, and I was able to log my kids on. They still got their hours. They just started school at like 4 o'clock in the evening. All right. What's your Facebook, if you don't mind me asking? My Facebook is Man Omega. And Man is just another word for mama. I have to put that out there because remember the dude on Facebook was like, I ain't finna be arguing with no grown ass man. Nigga, I'm not a man. And Man means mama. Do some research. Some etymology. All right. But anyways, Mama Omega, Man Omega on Facebook. But I'm finna delete all that shit though. That shit finna get deleted. I'm finna just wait until I get out of Facebook jail, get all my information and my good testimonials off of it. And I'm finna delete that shit. I don't need that shit. That's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm rolling up, y'all. That's what I'm finna do. I'm finna roll up. Y'all can ask some spiritual questions. I'm just shooting the breeze with y'all. It's been a while since I did that. Because I am so, like, conformed to schedule and having some sense of normalcy. So I'll be real, like, real with that. Like, schedules and shit like that. I got a lot of schedules and exact everything. I think this shit, like, kind of made me OCD and militant, if anything. It made me real OCD and militant. But not abusive, but militant. Like, I make my kids, they clean a lot. I ain't gonna lie. My kids do clean a lot. But that's because part of the MK Ultra mind control was me growing up in a filthy-ass house. You know? And they did that shit by design, too. So, like, if you had a parent that just didn't clean, or your house was nasty and shit like that, it might not necessarily that person had a fucking mental issue themselves. It could be that they were using that as a torture mechanism. Like, for real, for real. Y'all don't understand. Like, small shit like that, growing up in a filthy environment, will give you OCD. It'll give you obsessive compulsive disorder, and it'll make you not want to touch shit, and you'll feel like, ew, when it comes to, like, people and environments. And that's how she kept her house. My mom, she kept her house dirty and shit. And then when they got older, and that's something too. Like I said, I was playing the full card. That's something too. Like, because I grew up in that environment, when these people go around, they try to tell people that my house be filthy. It's a lie. It's a lie because I can't think straight. And the good spirits that I have around me, they don't like filth. They don't like it. Like, even my dolls and shit, she backwards. Even my dolls and shit, they take baths and they get their hair done. Self-care. Even for my dolls. You see, that's a perfect braid. Yeah, I used to do hair too. I used to do people's hair. But I didn't want to do hair. I was like, fuck that. Talk to me though. Talk to me since we heard. It's been a while. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. Yeah, it's been a while since I done set on my YouTube page and shot the shit with y'all. Y'all want some cards? I really don't want to pull none. I don't feel like it. I mean, I got them right here. My kids done ate. And everything. I want to go outside. You say I have too much to say. Aaliyah's been popping up for no reason lately. The Queen of the Dawn. Or the Akashic Records. However you going to take it. I believe she became immortalized through that role that she played. Her name was Akasha. And if you look in Akasha, I'm just saying, Asha is in Akasha. And you got to look at spelling, like etymology and all of that shit to the words as well. And I do believe that she does hold position over some part of the Akashic Records because her name is Akasha. Come on now. Queen of the Underworld. That's what I believe, honestly, that I am. I don't give a fuck who thinks that I'm crazy. But I'm light, too. It's like, y'all ever seen that movie, was it Nikki or Mickey? Where it's like, the person was like, I think he was like the son of Satan or whatever. I ain't the son of Satan. I ain't fucking saying no shit like that now. All right? I'm just saying, like, remember how he was really good, though? At heart, I feel like I was created through darkness. Even my whole creation was through sex magic. My whole creation was even through sex magic. All right? So, like, how I'm here, sitting here talking to you, and that's another reason why how I'm able to have, like, this power to be able to talk into your spirits and shit like that. These motherfuckers Frankensteined me. Through sex magic with a cauldron and shit. Little Nikki, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the queen, like, of an underwear type situation because I do walk with death deities and shit in the council of the judges, and they do decide life and death. Do not hit each other. I hope y'all done y'all chores, and right when I get off this live, I'm finna get y'all logged in. Make sure my house is clean. It is. All right. Yeah, I feel like I was created through the darkness, but I'm really a light person. But I also embrace that beast in me too, so it's like weird. I embrace that beast in me too, though, and I enjoy, like, when it's time to let the beast out, like, for real, for real. It's like these abusive people have created some type of gentle beast. I don't know. Because I get excited when it's time to fuck a motherfucker up, but I won't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't hurt nobody. Those need to be sanitized, son. You said B2. My mom is sneaky evil. That's how my mom is. She real sneaky and evil. Well, not really, because I could always see through it. I thought she was crazy my whole life, though. Like, my whole entire life, I felt like she was crazy. I never, ever, ever bonded with her. And this is my mother, and I always could not figure out why the fuck was she so goddamn light-skinned and I'm dark as fuck. Like, who are you, bitch? I never understood that. And then my daddy is dark-skinned and shit, and I don't look like her or nothing. Y'all seen the picture of my auntie. That's the only thing. I have to wait. Maybe I'll wait to delete my shit. Because the pictures that I post, I have pictures of my auntie, but I post pictures of my auntie, who really is my mother. I will put those. I keep saying I'm going to use the community board. I'm going to use the community board, you guys, I promise. I'm going to put those pictures up of them. And I don't know if I have a picture of my adopted mother, but I'll show y'all, and I want y'all to tell me who y'all think I look like more. No, you're not finna sanitize that. Where's your sister? Okay? And I want y'all to tell me who I look like more. And then I look like my daddy. And then this is where it gets strange at, right? It gets strange because my daddy and my auntie, they cousins. So I was also created through incest. I found all this out at one time. And that's why I be like, not on camera. I'm dealing with a lot. I found this out all at one time. You said it's super. Yeah, it is. It is. So I was created through sex magic, ancestral activities. You said I got brother, sister, cousins. You got brother, sister, cousins. I don't know what the fuck I am. I know I was created by 2 cousins. And I think that this wicked witch of the Midwest, she stepped in to adopt me. And then something weird, too, I noticed when I was growing up also. All my aunties liked my dad. And then when they got older, they all hated him. I think they all had sex with him. I'm for real, for real. I think that because they was always in the elite in some witchcraft shit. And I was also called to like witchcraft very, very young too. But I got out of that. Like it was like some white people, Wicca witchcraft and shit like that. Like my mom, she put me in this white neighborhood, which is why I ain't racist. That's why you can't find me being like overly black spiritualist. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a spiritualist. I don't have time for that shit. But I grew up around all these white kids and shit, and a group of friends in my, family had me hanging with, went to school with and shit. They was like little weekend white witches and shit. And when I was hanging with this little white witch people, my bad, yeah, I'm not like when I was hanging out with these little white witch people, and I think I'm like 9 or 10, hanging out with these little white witch people or whatever. I felt like I was gonna die. I felt like they was gonna sacrifice me, so I quickly like switched group friends, whatever, and then got out of it and went back to Christianity because I was like, nah, I don't know what the fuck that is, Please, you sure we not sisters? The stories too, right? Okay, hey, we could be, but that's some sick shit right there within itself, and I feel like that's fucked up that they didn't tell me. And when I think about it, what also is weird too is that the aunt that I know is my birth mother now. And I'm in my 30s and I'm just not finding this shit out last year, okay? So she was always more of a mother to me anyways. Yeah. And there's proof of it because my sister, my adopted sister, the lesbian one, right? Same shit happened to her. But listen, not her being adopted or whatever, but like when we get in trouble, my adopted mother would call my aunt. She would call her and she would be the one to come in with us. The person that I feel like now is really my birth mother that died. The Wicked Witch of the Midwest, that's what I'm going to call her. My mom T. If y'all hear me say mom T, that is my birth mother. But I was raised to believe it was my auntie. Okay? If you hear me say Wicked Witch of the Midwest, that's my adoptive mother, my mom, or whatever. Okay? And she blamed me for shit. Like, this bitch just blamed me for shit. Like, the story that I got, first of all, it's this her group home in St. Louis. It's called Annie Malone. Annie Malone Children's Home. That's what they call it. Right? My older sister, she would always say, both of them would always say that they got me from there. That they got me from the children's home. And they would say it like in a teasing or a jokingly manner and say that to be mean to me. Like, mama got you behind a dumpster. Mama got you from the children's home. Like, that's how they would say that to me or whatever. They would only say that to me, too. That's something also when I was growing up. They would only say that to me, too. And I ain't never believed that shit. I didn't believe it, right? And I do believe that my daddy is my daddy. I believe that. I believe he had relations with his cousins. Okay? I believe he had relations with his cousins. But every time I would get in trouble, that's who they would call. They would call Carla. And then I'm going to also tell you something, too. Also, when my mom T died, the funeral, I called my daddy and I said, Daddy, Aunt Carla died 10 o'clock. He did not go to the funeral. My daddy did not go to the funeral. And I think that's because he had sex with her. And they created me. And I think that maybe he was scared that this secret is going to come out. That's who I look like. I look like my dad. I don't know if I have a picture of my dad, but I will try to find one for y'all. And I'll let y'all do a poll. But I look like my dad and my aunt. I don't look like my dad and my mom. And there was always this weird shit. Like my mom and her sisters will always be in competition. My grandmother had 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls. Right? And they don't have the same daddy. So my mom's sisters, they don't have the same daddy. It's weird. Okay? They would always fight. And it'll always be, I would hear stories about how they was fighting over my daddy. I think he was like fucking all of them. Or something. Something weird. Something really weird. Because I had another auntie. I don't like that bitch. She stole from me too. And they always would talk about my daddy. Like, I think they was all fucking. That's all I can say. With some orgy shit. And still to this day, like, they'll always say something about, like, my daddy. Like, your daddy. Your daddy. And we all have different daddies. I'm the only one who has this person. What makes it what it is. What makes it what it is that I'm the only person in this entire family with this particular father. You get what I'm saying? But I would hear stories of even my dad telling me stories of when he was a teenager. My dad, that was the sheriff of St. Louis. He also was a martial artist. So he was in the newspaper a lot. He was like real popular and shit. So he was in the newspaper a lot growing up. And he had like all the bitches. And I think he was like fucking this family. And this family brought him into some witch shit. This is the understanding that I have. This family brought him into some witch shit. And they did some witch shit. So they can stay prominent and keep these good high-ranking jobs in society. And, you know. You said I saw your dad when y'all went fishing with your friends. He was too far away to see, but he seemed calm. Okay, he did seem calm, and that's why I'm least angriest with him as of all the situations. I'm least angriest with my father, but I still have cut him off. I've always been daddy's girl, but I'm least angriest with him, but I still have cut him off because, like I said, he gave me the key things that I survive off of. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. If you'll steal, you'll kill. If you, he said, if you lie, you'll cheat, you'll steal. If you steal, you'll kill, right? And then he also told me to govern myself or be governed by others. That's pretty much all I got that I took from my father. I took that. Govern myself or be governed by others. Where's your sister? Excuse me. Tell her to come in here and sanitize your devices. You know? So, what the fuck? He interrupted me, so I forgot. Yeah, but I look like him and I look like my auntie. Actually, all the children that the Wicked Witch of the Midwest has, none of us look like her. Actually, we all dark skinned, and she's very, very light. She could like pass for a mulatto. She thinks she white though. She one of them black people that think she white. Like she don't like the natural of her hair. She doesn't like the natural of her hair. All right. It's a lot of stuff. It's deep, y'all. Also, the twin murder mysteries because I always had that brother. Remember I told you I can always hear spirits. And my eyes twitching now. What? Sir, why the fuck you... What? Okay, so why you ain't just plug it up? My baby want my attention, y'all. He really do. And I don't never really be live. Y'all see, I don't really go live that often. Like, if I do, it's uniform going live. Like, I'm finna come live. I'm gonna do this like it's my job. You know what I'm saying? You said, you think she got someone else to carry you pregnancy? I asked her for a DNA test. The bitch never. She stopped replying. This is how I know this shit is true. I confronted her with this because I'm a bold bitch. She stopped replying. She stopped replying when I confronted her about hiring a hitman, trying to murder me, sacrifice me, hiring a hitman to kill me for insurance money so that she can, steal my destiny. I confronted her about sleeping with my ex-husband who has HIV. I don't have it. I'll get tested and nothing. I ain't been sleeping with him. Like I said, the shit was years ago. He got the HIV from shit they still doing now. In 2022. In 2021, they were doing it. Everything hit the fan when my aunt died because the magic backfired and hit the wrong person. It backfired and hit my mother. And I said to... Daughter, what did I say to you when I told you I felt like somebody was finna die? Who did I say I thought it was finna be? Yeah, mama. I said it was finna be my mama, but it wasn't my mother. I thought it was gonna be my birth mother, not my... Yes. The person that I thought was my birth mother, that's who I thought was finna die because I'm spiritual and I can feel when somebody's about to die. And that's probably why I roll with the death deities, you know what I'm saying? I can feel when somebody's about to die. So I knew somebody was about to die and I was like, okay, I actually said, I hope it's my mother. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that really wasn't my mother when I said that, okay? And I said that because she has done some vindictive shit to me, some horrible shit to me. She's abused me. I feel like she adopted me to sacrifice me, period. You know what I'm saying? And then my sister called and said it was my auntie, and then that's when all this shit came out, and Spirit was like, remember you said that you wish that your mama had died or whatever? And I was like, yeah. And they was like, well, your mama really did die. This is really your mother. And that's when I confronted my mother without any proof. And I don't need any proof. And y'all know I don't need any proof because I do y'all readings without no motherfucking proof. When y'all call me and y'all give me especially y'all mediumships, which y'all crossed over loved ones, they died before you even met me. And I ain't never met y'all crossed over loved ones. I'm able to do y'all readings with no fucking proof. So I confronted my mother with no proof. And I told her, like, that's fucked up. I'm not your child. I know I never was your child. And I said, I want a DNA test. Bitch did not. On scene. On red, bitch. She to this day. And this shit was months ago. This is right after the funeral. I said, I want a DNA test from you, bitch. Because the spirits told me that was really my father. And that they did some magic. Because this family is evil. They did some magic. These 3 sisters. They did some fucking magic. Weird shit. And they kill kids. They sacrifice babies. And I believe these people are responsible for the murder of my brother. And my daddy tells the story of he had twins. He had a set of twins, right? He had a set of twins before I was born. But the person that he had the twins by killed them. But there's also a story of him and my mother being high school sweethearts. They separated. They had the baby. my brother. They had my brother. He died, and then they separated again. And then there's the timeline of them coming back together just to make me, and then just for them to separate again. There's no other human being but these two parents or whatever. Now, this is my mother and my adoptive parents. That's the story that they gave me about my brother. But the whole time I'm alive, I always knew I had a brother, and I would actually bug them about my brother. Where's my brother? Where's my brother? Where's my brother? Where's my brother? And they told me, oh, well, you have one, but he died before you was born. That's the story that they told me. That's what they told me. And they said that's not true. That's what the spirit says. That's not true. Oh, she lit me an instant. Thank you, baby. She be knowing when her mama over here struggling. Y'all can tell when it's the boys coming in and the girl coming in in my room or whatever when I be talking to y'all. Because the boys, they just be sitting there and they stir, and I be like, what the fuck you looking at? And she come in making shit smell good and organizing shit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, sweetie. But anyways, yeah, it's just weird shit. Yeah, you said confirmation pregnancy. Yeah, and then also this was weird too. This is also weird too. At the funeral, you know, the collages, and I'll post this on the community board because I do have them on my phone. But the collages, right, at the funeral, how they make the family collages for people, somebody to keep or whatever, or the pictures of them where everybody. There's only one picture of me on that entire collage, and that's the picture of me that I'm gonna post of me. But all the rest of my family members, it's millions. I'm talking about from a baby to a grown up or whatever. There's only one picture of me on that collage with her and me on it, and it was her and me in North St. Louis in my grandma's house before she died, and I was like 4 years old, and I'm standing next to her and I'm smiling. That's the only picture that they have of me and her together on the obituary and all those big memory boards and shit like that. Now keep in mind, this is my family. And I've been in this family my whole entire life. And I'm just important as every other family member, so I thought, my whole entire life, to this woman. She raised me like she raised everybody in the family or whatever. And they only put that one picture of me and her on the obituary, and everything together was me and her when I was a little girl. That's it. She said she's in tune with your emotions. Yes, she is. She is. She knows. She comes in. She's like aromatherapy, moving shit around and everything. Yeah. My face it's the light, y'all. It's the sunlight coming in. Then I got a ring light. And then it's like, if it hits to a certain degree, it make my face look greasy. I don't know. So I just spill my guts out emotionally. It's just a bunch of shit that I be dealing with. And I have to put it together because my story do got layers. All this shit been happening my whole life, even through childhood. When I look back on everything, even how I look back on... That was a tribe member too. Also too. There was a tribe member that I was talking to. I think it could have been Leisha the Warrior too. I'll be talking to Leisha ass. Well, I haven't talked to her in a while, but I was talking the shit out of her ass, I guess. But another tribe member I was talking to about how recently in 2000, I was in Louisiana. My ex-husband had called me. No, my daughter had called me. My 18-year-old daughter, my twins. She had called me. And she was telling me about Arthur, which is my ex-husband, a preacher, who I have these two beautiful, handsome young men. Yes, son, you so handsome. He like, yeah. Okay, yeah, he handsome. But anyways, so I have these two beautiful, handsome young men with or whatever. She calling me and she telling me like he doing this and he doing that and he about to get married and all this shit. And I'm telling her I don't care, but I told her because that's not her daddy. Keep in mind, they from my first husband before I even had all these kids. Those twins, they grown now. They from my first husband. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't want you around him. At the time, I think she was 17. I'm like, I don't want you around him because I have 2 kids by him and he got me out here struggling with these kids. He's not helping me. He's out here having all these other bitches and shit like that. And my daughter got smart with me and she said, well, if you would let him see his kids. Now, keep in mind all the shit I done told y'all that this nigga done did. But this is what my daughter has said because he been coming around her. And I'm like, and this is not her daddy. And he don't ever see his kids. Not because I won't let him, but because all those chances that I gave him to help us, he put us in worse situations, homelessness, in states that we had never been to, like crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And then she said that to me and I was like, okay, this is not right. So I called my mom because my mom is the one who had my twins. So I called her and I was like, Mom, do you mind not allowing him? Thank you, daughter. Do you mind not allowing him around my kids? Because, you know, he's lying to my kids saying that I'm not letting him see them, but he's putting us in these horrible situations. and then trying to make me look like the bad guy, but when I'm the only, he doesn't help us in these situations. And my daughter was talking about him buying her something. This is how I felt like he was trying to molest my kids, and my mama was gonna let him. She signed me off at 17. You know what I'm saying? My mom was gonna let him buy my daughter the stuff or whatever. And so I called her. I called my mom just before I knew that wasn't my mother. You know what I'm saying? I called her and I was like, hey, you know, I need you to like stop letting him around my daughters because he doesn't help me. Our sons is like, at that point, they was 8 and 9 or 9 and 10 or something like that. He is not helping us. I really want you to quit having him around my kids because I'm trying to move on. What if I get out here and I find me a husband and I want to get married and then you are still letting this man around like he's their dad, but he didn't have a relationship. That's the weird part. He never had a relationship with my twins while we were married, while me and him was married. You know what I'm saying? We didn't live with my twins and nothing like that. He didn't have a relationship with them while we were married. He had a relationship with this daughter here that lives here with me, my 15-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And when me and him was together, he was like playing daddy to her, the 15-year-old that I have right here, and we and him didn't have any kids together, right? And that was weird too, because as soon as he played daddy to her, and that's why I had to ask her that he molested her or something like that. I asked her when she got with her, because it was like as soon as he got me pregnant with his actual kid, he left me, but he was such a good father to her. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, why was he around? Was he trying to just like touch on my daughter or something? And she said he never did that. So I'm going to take her word for it because she know how I am. Because my mother didn't protect me. Nigga, I'm going ham on your ass if you do anything. You know? And that's another reason why I'm single, because I got to be careful because I'll kill a nigga. Y'all seen my dream. Don't touch my kids. Like, period. You know? But I called my mom, and my mom was like, I said, Mom, I want to move on. I'm trying to heal this situation. We've been divorced. Literally, I said, we have been divorced for 10 years, Mom. There's no reason why you're still letting him come around. This is before I found out they was having sex. You know what I'm saying? My mom and him. Right? So I was like, why is he still coming around my kids? I don't like it. She's like, you don't even live in St. Louis. This was when I was in Louisiana. You don't even live in St. Louis anymore. You can't tell me how to run my house. You can't run my house from across the country. And I said, but Mom, I'm your daughter. He cheated on me. He got somebody pregnant. He remarried. He divorced her, remarried again. Now he's married to the crazy bitch Leah. Keep up with me, y'all. Keep up with me. I know it's deep, right? So now he's married to the crazy bitch Leah, right? And this is what I'm bringing up to my mom. I'm like, Mom, he did all this shit to me. I'm your child. Why are you letting him come around my kids? And he doesn't even go around my kids. My mom was like, you can't tell me. And that's another reason I said, I got off the phone. And this was in 2021. I got off the phone with her and I said, I think I called Lily. I really do think it was Leisure the Warrior. And I said, my mama don't love me. Like, I couldn't even really cry though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my spidey senses was going off. I was like, I couldn't even cry. I was like, this is weird. This is as I'm breaking the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, this is really fucking weird. Like, why is she doing this? Because he doesn't even take care of his actual kids, and she knows it. Like, she knows he has not done nothing for these children. You know what I'm saying? But my twin, she let him come in and play daddy, and she know that he left me for a woman that he impregnated, and then he ended up divorcing that woman and remarried another woman. I said, he got 2 different mother-in-laws now. Why is he still coming around my family? He has 2 different mothers-in-laws, and he had children with both of those women. So them other women had other kids. Them other women had other kids, and then also this is weird too. I'm sorry, y'all. Whatever. No, I'm not. But listen, this is weird too. Every time he would get a new woman, that woman would hate me, right? But he would also get her kids and then try to bring them to my kids. And he would hate that I would do this. He would bring her kids to my kids and be like, this is your brother. This is your sister. And he would want my kids, after he divorced me, left me for this woman and all this other shit. He did this with every woman that he got with. Like, literally. He would then go tell my kids that this was his brother. They was their brother and sister too. And I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Like, why are you doing it? And I thought that was weird too. Like, oh my God. Like, anybody, he was just trying to attach anybody to my energy. Anybody to my fucking energy. I thought that was weird too. Like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, she became friends with the bitch, his new wife. The reason why he was doing this is because they're all trying to sacrifice me for insurance money. So, of course, he's going to hang in and pretend like he's now the good parent for my kids. He came in. I don't like how this glare is on my face. It's the sunlight. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Whatever. This is how we're going to talk. It's really sunny over here. It's really bright. But look. Okay. So, like, that was weird too. And the motherfucker basically, I put 2 and 2 together at that point, basically, that my mama did not love me. Because this was in 2021, I believe, that I called her and told her, I said, Mom, I'm finna get married. I was lying. I just wanted to see what she was saying, you know, what she was going to say. I was like, I'm finna get married, Mom. Like, I don't want my kids calling him dad, but he hasn't been, we've been divorced for 10 years and he wasn't even a dad to them while, you know, we were married. So I want you to keep them away from my kids. And she was telling me, nah, fuck you, bitch. And I said, Mama, I'm trying to heal. I said those exact words. I said, I'm trying to heal, Mama. And she was like, don't you tell me what to do in my motherfucking house. You don't even live in this city. And she hung up on me. She straight hung up on me. And I was like, this bitch do not love me. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I don't call her. I don't ask her for nothing. I don't borrow nothing from her. I don't ask her for nothing. And a part of me was like, well, she did help you with your kids, but she didn't even help me with my kids. The twins that she had, I'm going to tell you the story on that too. I hope an investigator is watching or somebody for real. Okay? I'm going to tell you a story on that too because after, I'm going to have to pee. I'm going to have to come back. It's a lot, y'all. I'm going to do it though. I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell y'all some more. Because it's hard for me to unravel it all because it's not going to be in order. And I guess that's the part that made me want to, like, not say it because I don't want to sound crazy. Because I'm going to be bouncing from subject to subject to subject. But this is how I read Spirit anyways. Because that's how I put it together. It's usually like I go through some situations. And then when I go back and I take my solitude and I look back at it, I can put the pieces of the puzzle like, oh, so this was really this and this is really that. Now that I'm going back and looking at all this shit, that's why I said I want a DNA test. This is what made me confront my mom and say I really want a DNA test. Bitch. I don't get that. And typically, the child doesn't want the mother to give a DNA test. They want the man to give a DNA test. I want my mama to give me a DNA test. Because, bitch, I know you ain't my mama. I know you ain't my mama. I know you not my mama. How do your child come to you and tell you that somebody is hurting them and you don't do anything? How do your child come to you and tell you that they trying to heal and that this person is lying? I said that. I said, but Mama, he lying to my daughters. He's lying to them. And she didn't give a fuck. And that's when I also clicked in my head, they fucking. So I asked Spirit about that. And Spirit said, yeah, they've been doing that for a while now. And I confronted her about that on red. Everything that I confronted her about, she left me on red, no lie. And I ain't talked to her since. She's still trying to kill me, though. But that's why I'm making these videos, to stop it. See, I can change the timeline. They want me to be scared. They want me to say shit. So I just put all their business out there and all the bullshit out there. So if anything was to happen, then they would know exactly who to arrest. But nothing is going to happen to me. Because if that was the case, they would have been able to kill me. All the plots and all the plans that they had did to try to kill me, it would have worked by now. Shit. That's why they had to physically hire a hitman, because they magic really wasn't hitting no shit. It did some shit though. Like y'all can see my face, and then like I told y'all, old boy ripped my hair out my head and shit, sending me conflict. He went to jail for that too. So I don't want no nigga to think that I just let niggas beat on me, because I don't. I do not. I played the shit out that shit. You gotta play your role to get out of it. I told you. You play your role to get out of that situation, and then you do what you have to do. I left him that day. As soon as I seen what the fuck he did to my hair, something in my head said, he don't want you to be pretty no more. He doesn't want you to be beautiful. Because he said that he loved you with his mouth. But then he hit you. And he straight pulled your motherfucking hair out. My hair, like I said, it was short. It was baby locks. It was little at the time. You know what I'm saying? He straight pulled your motherfucking hair out. And I tried to keep it. I ain't cutting it until I got to Louisiana. But it was just like I was damaging my hair follicles more by trying to hold like a long ass lock onto that damaged hair follicle. So that's why I ended up just shaving it. So I had kept it like that for like 4 or 5 years. Just hold on. Every time some hair would grow in, like I would twist up everything and let that part fro up. Every time some hair would grow in, I try to attach it. But then that weight of that lock being so long and so strong already will be pulling at my roots. You know what I'm saying? So Spirit was like, cut it off. You a fucking warrior, bitch, anyways. And even if you do cut your shit off, bitch, you still look motherfucking fly. And guess what? You still shitting on bitches. With your length, bitch, you still shitting on bitches. It's all you. Ain't no even a shit. Ain't no extensions in the shit. Ain't nothing. It's all my hair. But when I do let it grow back, I be doing my baby hairs and shit when I let it grow back. But I want to get some tats. And it warmed up outside. So I was like, you might as well shave that winter fro down, bitch. But anyways, I'm gonna come back. I gotta pee. Y'all seeing me in my raw form. My rare form. I ain't all cute for the camera and shit. But I'm still cute, bitch. They did beauty spells on me. And that's what all these bumps is and shit on my face. But my skin's still pretty. It's still pretty. It is what it is. So I'm finna go pee. And then I'm gonna come back. Let me write this down. Because I ain't gonna remember it. And it ain't gonna be long either. I'm finna come back and I'm finna tell the story. I'm just finna get it all out. And I'm finna tell the story of how my mama ended up with my twins. And how the effects of a narcissistic parent. How she tricked me into giving them to her. And why I hate her. I'm for real, for real. All right, so how to... And I'm going to say hate because, like I said, it's not wrong for me to feel this way. That's what she gave me. She gave me hate and shit like that. So you get what you give. And it is my choice whether or not I give it back. But I consider it like I was born to... I feel like I was born for you to do this stuff. For you to awaken this beast inside of me. Because I'm a very powerful manifester. For me to manifest you being enslaved spiritually and mentally and physically and all that shit. So, you know... That's what I'm saying, but I'm going to say, I'm going to talk about my twins and how my mother got them, or my karmic mother. We're going to talk about, the next story time is going to be about my karmic mother. And I'm going to write shit down, like I write it down now, because if I don't, I'll get off topic. Okay? Because my mind will start going into, like, other places, like, and I'm not crazy or nothing. I know I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I just said I'm not crazy or nothing. I'm just saying, like, it may, like, when I talk about it, because if you watch, like I said, I know that I've been through a lot of traumatic shit. Like, I know I've been through a lot of traumatic shit. So, inside, like, it might be like that little girl still in there sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And that little girl does come out, and every now and then she does have to be appeased, and I have to attend to it to create the inner healing. And this is maybe how I'm going to create the inner healing for myself as well. I'm very loving, and through all this, I'm still loving. I'm still kind. It just had the opposite effect of me, on me. You know what I'm saying? It had the opposite. All the abuse and shit, it had an opposite effect on me. Like, I still want to love people. And I still am a good mother to my children. And I don't abuse them or nothing like that. I do yell at them, and I curse them out. But I think every parent does. And I curse them out because they be doing shit. Like, they try to do some shit. Like, I'm going to give an example. But I kind of be embarrassed, too, because it's like, you teach your kid better. But my son is, like, 13 or whatever. And, like, he kind of went through my room, and I had took his cell phone or whatever. And I didn't like the fact that he had to went through my stuff. And he took this phone, you know what I'm saying, out of my room. And I didn't like it. So, that was pretty bad for me. So, I yelled at him. But whatever. I'm going to go pee. And then I'm going to go pour some more of my story out. And I'm going to just say it like this. There it is, the light's off. But look, if you feel like you want to still like my story or something like that, it's going to be timestamped. So like I said, and we got the Most High Honorable Judge. And the spirits that I deal with are not spirits that you want to fuck with. And it's not a threat or anything. I mean, you could try. Like, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. You can do that. And I'm just going to sit back and watch. And whatever happens to you, happens to you. But this is my story, and I'm supposed to tell this story. And I'm going to just tell it right here. And then how I put it together in story form or movie format or whatever is how I put it together in story form or movie format or whatever. But it's a lot of death energy associated with my story. So remember, if that's an energy that you want to, you know, align yourself with saying that this is your story so that you can, like, plagiarize it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, your thoughts become reality. I'm glad I made it. That's all I got to say. Like, I'm really hearing, like, never would have made it. Like, for real. I'm like, some serious shit. You got to have some spiritual protection going through this shit. And that's why a lot of readers are quitting, okay? Yeah. So I know you hate to go to, but we here. Thank you for sharing. Ashe, you know? But a lot of spiritualists, they're quitting. They're backing away from the tarot cards, backing away from tapping into the spiritual realms because they weren't supposed to be there in the first place. When you get into this, it's not a one-way. I mean, it is a one-way street also. And then if you tapped into it also, if you're a reader, I just want to give you a warning. If you tapped into it, right, and you, like, started reading and you were deep into it, you may or you may not have repercussions from the spirit realm for going back, for trying to close that door. It's like you opened up your third eye, now you're going to try to close it. That's not how this shit works. It's not how the fuck it works. So I don't know what to say about those readers, but y'all be careful out here in these spiritual streets. If you don't feel like this is something that you want to dabble in, and just don't pick it up because it's a fad or whatever, because there are consequences. So once you open certain doors, they cannot be closed. They cannot be closed. So if you're a reader and you dabbled in the tarot cards and now you're like, I'm throwing away all my tarot cards, bitch, that doesn't mean it's going to stop. It doesn't mean that you haven't already begun to live the tarot out. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's going to stop. So just be careful out here in these streets. I'm going to be back in probably like an hour or two. Deuces, gang, 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 gang. I'm out this bitch.